Wow, dude look like a lady. Famous quote I stick by. I want to think like a slut and talk like a whore and display my body like it's mine and yours. Also, my own body forsaking me. Well, Vicky, first one was me. So for like 3 months, I worked probably about daily. One of the only things I've put a lot of effort into recently, apart from shaving my own fat ass, on a video essay, an essay about how male power creates a disempowered, a subjugatory identity for women to exist in, and how the boundaries of female identity are made known and then made pronounced by the violence that men inflict upon them, both civilly, sexually, interpersonally, and probably spiritually. I don't know much about spirituality. I was not born in soul. That's why I can't appreciate or make music, arts, or fulfilling YouTube content. All I can make is slop. That's why I want you all to go follow my secondary account, Turkey Tom. If Turkey Tom was a girl, what would his name be? Hayden? Mojave Millions? No, he wouldn't have a name. He would have been killed on the cruel streets that he came from. It was his thuggish male ways that allowed him to persevere so far. Mine too. Regardless, reflecting on Turkey Tom and everything else that happens in my life, why is everything about retarded trade? Why is that so important to me? Today we're gonna list the top 5 list of reasons why I'm obsessed with retarded trade. Number 1, I'm very, very interested in my own damn gay retarded self. This may be a little bit of an overindulgence, a confession on my end. I haven't ever been to church. One step through the door and everyone starts realizing that they have seen Christ. When I walk around, choir boys start singing. I actually have a friend whose music plays whenever he walks around as well, but it goes whoa, whoa, whoa. Anyway, as someone who's very interested in their own self, I think a lot. I think so much. And I think that the person that I am, the person that I was born to be, and the person who was raised into Hayden Mojave Million has a very deep reliance on their own self, and of that own self being something of value. Not to most people, maybe not to anyone, not even to my own damn parents. Parents didn't care about anything. My first language was English because my mother is a weeaboo obsessed with Japanese peoples, and my father has a learning disability. The way I have come to be is very important to me. I don't think other people understand me. I don't think they even try to understand me. As limited as I think it means to be human, how we share all the same references and thoughts, the same languages, that we can never be so disparate from other people that we can't recognize ourselves in them. I think that people don't tend to think about me that way. I don't think other people try to understand how familiar and yet how distant I exist from them. I think they just like to go, look at that gay boy talking some bullshit. It's like 1 in every 2 feedback that I receive. I go to Lowdown Academy for the specially non-able. When I hand in my essays, the only feedback I get is a large F for faggot. Trade wonders me because there exists within men, within some specific men, autistic bisexual trait, the ability to understand and recognize another, someone who is othered by the identity that they exist within, so wholly and without words. I spent so much time thinking about the way in which I would describe myself, the way in which I would communicate that to others, to achieve the means of being understood. The edges of anything, as says Edward Said, contain the wholeness of what that thing can be. If the capacity to who you are is limited by your ways of explaining it, then I have no capacity and no boundaries. But trade doesn't need that. Trade can see right through it, to the deepest core of your being. He doesn't need 10 million words. Autistic bisexual trade recognizes you for who you are. But 2, autistic bisexual trade is not subjugate the way in which I am. Recognizing yourself in a power, in someone who is stronger than you, and yet of your same flesh, is the closest I think we will ever get to empowerment in this life. We as in socially inept mid-face card fanboys, and I guess all women. Despite also being socially alienated, being misunderstood by a lot of people, having a feeling of otherness, they still cling to the power that they do have. Their dominant, presiding masculinity, their mostly heterosexuality, their proximity to living in the real world. Why would you not want that? Because if you've forsaken that, then you have become a slave. That's what Nietzsche said. I said that to my teacher, and he said, I don't think that's what I said when I read Nietzsche, but it's been a long time. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what the fuck Nietzsche said at all. You teach English, not German. Third, as a very selfish person, I need one other person specifically to hinge all my ideas of what I want to be and what I can be on. I don't like very concrete desires of like a job or a future. I don't like money. I don't like possessions. I don't like my own gay haircut. I don't like the comb breasts that sprout from my own chest. There's nothing in this world that I love, and yet within some specific people, there exists everything I could potentially ever care about. A wealth of things, a future, romanticism, love, deep passion, interest, intrigue, wonder, reasons to keep on living. The last time I fell in love extremely hard. I cleaned the flat for 4 hours before he came around, and when he showed up, he said, "That's very you." What the fuck are you talking about? That's very me. I don't clean myself weeks at a time. Before I moved out, I was living in a very large hamster cage. I would shit where I would eat. I have felt so very and passionately in love with other men. They exist to me as fascinating creatures upon which everything makes so much sense. They have a depth of intrigue and wonder to them. When I think about the men that I have fallen in love with, I think about the world itself. I think about the world sprouting into color. I think about finding intrigue in things that are so mundane and boring. I think about how incredible it is that filmmakers are able to take the world that exists around us and transmute them into something almost above recognition. Except most don't do that. Most make garbage. Most filmmakers are not Harmony Korine. I recognize that he might be Israel's strongest soldier, but he also made Gummo. That was so good. You have never seen a white bitch act crazier than Gummo. A bitch for dramatic effect. We don't say that word around here. Love is a lot like Gummo. Love is specifically kids. The movie. Love is AIDS. Love is harrowing. And that's what a bisexual trait gives to me. The world in a cinemascope. A depth of hidden meanings, of things to constantly keep my mind occupied. The person that I am still so in love with, who lingers on my mind every day, exists in every realm of my life. He exists when I wake up and when I go to sleep. He exists in the empty spaces around me that I fill with thoughts to myself. He exists in the wills I have, the desires, the things I want to surround myself with forever, the ways in which my power is made known. He's everything that I could ever potentially live as, or live with, or supplant myself for. For my eternal destiny as a castrated slave, I think that I have a will recognized by others as subjugate, previously established by the Bible, God, Jesus, Andrea Dworkin. Hayden's is thugs too, and strugglers. We struggle a lot. I don't have a power that's understood by regular people day to day. I don't have respect on my own name. The way I talk and the way that I think is not taken very seriously, or given very much weight by the regular waking world. My power as subjugate is to amplify the wills of someone greater. How depressing, the raped, you might say. Or you might say, well, if your power is made known by being imprinted upon by other people, then surely you're just as powerful, because people performing with no captive crowd, is there ever even ones performing the tree that falls in the woods? I reject that entirely. I am not a slave, but I also do understand the way in which I am supplanted underneath other people. I will never have the same equalizing force that a heterosexual or bisexual man has. It's not the truth whatsoever. I can't fulfill normative ideations of what I should be. I can't exist normally in the workforce. I can't even go outside without constantly sexually harassing Turkey Tom. My life is just so useless. I'm gay. It's not even fucking funny. But it all finds a lot of meaning. Women oftentimes find a sort of exhilarating thrill in the chase of dating, of swaying between a lot of open arms, because that's the domain that they are normatively assumed to have the most power, the dating marketplace. They get to choose who they will be with, but ultimately they're choosing who they'll be underneath. They're choosing who proves themselves. Women prove themselves by the people that they have sex with, by proving what will they buckle underneath. Meanwhile, men tend to prove themselves by seeing the people who will be capitulate to their power. Where does a sissy, cross-dressing, void, pooner-passing male have to do with any of this? Well, I would see myself as an extremely deferred version of that. No, I will never give you what a BPD ear girl can give you, but I will give you something else and more important, and that's my entire heart and also AIDS. And number 5 on my list, I'm still so in love with my ex, I actually can't fucking see straight. Every day in my life is commanded so horribly and so deeply and so impactfully by the imprint that he has left upon me, and we were together for about 2 months, and he was very sexually violent sometimes. And he seemed not entirely receptive to always hearing the things that I would say, and yet there is not a single thing that I would wish to change about him, apart from the way in which he's sexually violent with others. When I think about him being with other people, something I know that he's been, and something that he has been poorly with, not to great acclaim, not a lot of great ratings, I actually want to tear out my own fucking hair and balls. It's unfortunate that there is no position that I could exist in his life as the thing that gives it ultimate meaning and power, considering that I would give that over to him in the blink of an eye. He could tell me to shoot my own gay father, gay as in bad, and I wouldn't even have time to hesitate. True love would guide that trigger from my pocket with the pushing of the gun and I don't really know how guns work. I wanted to do something crazy when I was younger, about 2 weeks ago, but I really can't stand the sound of loud pops going off. It scares me. So I guess if I was ever to commit an act of mass violence, it would just be, I don't know, doing a Tate McRae cover. What wonderful reasons we have gone over, Hayden. Fun was had by all, and jokes. I hope the great audience of 4 people who will see this will really covet the words I have come to say. I abandoned 9,000 words on a PDF document and 3 months worth of projects to tell you something straight from my heart, not pre-recorded, not with any thought, and not with any biblical justification, which kind of was the whole point of my old video. It's like, women are Jesus. But yeah, tell me more in the comments. What bisexual traits are you hooked up with? What bisexual traits wire you? Why are they so important to you? Who can I love? And will you please find a spot in your empty, barren, bisexual, soulless heart for me? Thank you very much. My name is Hayden Alex AGP on Twitter, and I do the voices of My Little Pony, Friendship is Witchcraft, and I play on my guitar, and everything is peaceful and love in this world. Bye!